Hey, afternoon, everybody. It was a good afternoon yesterday for the Phillies, and not so good an afternoon for the Flyers. The Flyers just did not give themselves enough of a chance in this series due to games, well, 1 and 4 especially, but 3 at home wasn't pretty either. But the Flyers Game 1 in Pittsburgh was one of the worst games any of us saw, and Game 4 at home was probably one of the worst games any of us fans saw at home in the playoffs in recent years. And the Flyers just couldn't get it done at home in this playoffs. They looked better in Pittsburgh than they did in Philly because, of course, we won 2 games in Pitt and zippity-doo-dah back here. So we obviously need to add, in my opinion, yeah, we could add defensive depth, but I don't know if that's as much of a need as people think, because we also didn't have people in we should have had in. Like, we kept sitting Sanheim or Hag instead of Manning or Gudas, who continuously made mistakes, including Racco, who kind of, in a sense, cost us that game yesterday, because mistakes he made led to, like, 2 or 3 goals. So, if somebody like Sanheim was playing, I know they're a rookie, they might make the same mistakes, but Racco's been doing it all year, as has Brandon Manning. And when that line got together, it was one of the worst defensive lines I've ever seen. I don't know why we kept Manning and Gudas together for so long. That line is one of the worst combinations that a coach could make. And Hackstall, of course, took a step this year doing the line change and moving stuff around, as he did in the last game he won in Pittsburgh. He put Val in the first one and was like, what the hell? It worked. So he's, in that aspect, he kind of knows what he's doing in terms of moving the lines around, but not so in all senses, because he's okay with moving them around with the forwards. When we move the defense lines around, that's where all hell breaks loose. Dave Hackstall's okay at managing our forwards and where to move them around, but managing the defense, he is not a good coach in that aspect whatsoever. Because Hag led rookies in some statistics, and just because he got injured and came back and didn't play great in his first 2 games he came back, I don't know, maybe give a guy a little bit to get back into the groove. We didn't play him barely. And no one can tell me Racco Gudas or Brandon Manning is anywhere close to as good as Robert Hag, and I don't care that Robert Hag hasn't been in the league as much as those two. Those two are average defensemen at best in Racco Gudas and Brandon Manning. So the Flyers maybe will add one veteran defenseman. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened in the offseason, to have a guy that really helps the Hags and Sanheims of the world that's not just Andrew McDonald. But we'll see what happens there. And the Flyers also, in my opinion, will add a scorer in the sense of like a straight sniper, like a Thomas Vanek, who actually is available possibly this offseason. Somebody like that that's just a straight shooter, that when they come down on a 2-on-1, they're not looking to pass, they're looking to shoot most of the time. And the Flyers, it's nice to be able to spread the puck around, but we are too unselfish at times. And even our announcers have brought that up. So getting someone like that to space out the lines, because our top line can score fine, because G scores as well as assists, so does Cooch. But below that, we don't have enough depth other than TK, who's probably going to go up from 18. I think he had 18 goals this year to getting like 20 or 25 next year. Excuse me. But he's still a playmaker at heart. Travis Konechny is not a straight-up sniper. He's just a good, fast skater that's honestly making himself into a better passer each time he hits the ice too, which is great to see. And he's taking steps, and he's going to be basically the playmaker and scorer. But what all of us and me agree saying, what a lot of people say, and I see in fan groups, is we just need that straight-up sniper, and that's like a Vanek, a Jeff Carter, who you're never going to get back. JVR's in the free agency this year, but good luck finding the money to do that. So we need to come up with something we can do in our means of how much we have to spend. And, of course, getting rid of one of the goalies. I'm sure we're not going to have all these guys back next year. So, or possibly two of the guys might be going next year. So that will be interesting to see. Now, even though we lost the series, I do have an MVP of the series, and I think everyone knows who that is. It is Sean Couturier. The guy played with a torn MCL in his last couple games. Got a goal in the game we won in Pitt, and was part of every goal we had yesterday, and we still lost. So he is the MVP of the series. Also, congratulations to Laux on his first playoff goal. Unfortunately, neither of their efforts could help us get the win we needed, and that is what it boils down to. But a good showing by both of those guys, especially Sean Couturier. Scott Laughton more on the defensive end, and then capitalizing on his goal. Good showing by those guys. Wasn't enough. So this has been a reaction video to the Flyers' final loss of this season. It has been a whirlwind of a season, boys, a very up and down season at times, but it was also a very good season, a memorable season in the sense of G reaching the highest point gap, first Flyer over 100 points after the age of 30, and Cooch really breaking out this year as well as TK, and then also guys like Raffl taking a step up when he was healthy. He obviously wasn't healthy enough this year, but I would have liked to see what he could do if he was healthier more, because he was starting to play better, then got injured. And Alex Lyon, we found out Alex Lyon can be a backup goalie in this league. So that's a good step for depth in the right direction. So there's been a lot of good stuff. Robert Hagg, Sanheim, Provorov, and Ghost taking a big step this year. Another thing. There's been a lot of good stuff this season, but there's also stuff we have to change and get better at, and Ron Hextall knows that, and it's going to be a very interesting offseason to see what we do. This has been a reaction to the Flyers and Pens series. Have a great day, everyone. Peace out.